Hey there friends, how's it going? My name is Kevin. You probably already know that. If you're on my Patreon, I'd be worried if you didn't. But yeah, I'm making a bit of a weird video. I thought it was best to make this in a video as opposed to a text thing because I'll end up writing the whole thing and then deleting it and then writing it again and doing a video in the end anyway because I can express myself better. So I thought I'd save myself some time. So if you're seeing this, you're a supporter of mine on Patreon, for which I am super grateful. I really appreciate it. But it's something that I've mentioned in the past a few times before, even though I have it in a few places on the Patreon page, and I do it over on Twitch as well. I try and make it as clear as possible that it's not like it used to be where I used Patreon to like pay bills. Now I'm actually quite secure where I am, and I'm no longer too worried about YouTube closing down tomorrow, because that was a big fear of mine for quite some time, that I just get demonetized. At this point I figure it's probably not going to happen. That's me touching wood very aggressively. But I have mentioned a few times on Patreon streams that I've considered closing it, and a lot of the time, in fact, every time I've brought that up, people have usually said, no, it's we like supporting you and we're not doing it for X, Y, and Z. We just want to give you a thank you. And again, I super appreciate that. So I hope this doesn't come across wrong, but I just don't feel that good about having it up anymore. It's weird because I do have this huge place in my heart and a lot of gratitude for what Patreon's done for me, because honestly I probably wouldn't have been able to do videos like full-time for what, a year or so at the start without it, because I would have been screwed. I would have had no income and it just wouldn't have worked. But I feel like no matter how many times I have it on my page saying like only support if you have money that you do not want, you're throwing it away, no matter what I put on, there will be a few people who will give it to me because they're too kind for their own good when they could use it more. And I just feel like that's not fair. So I was looking at ways that I could try and pause it indefinitely. And I guess that would require a bit of trust that I'm not gonna like snap it on at the last day of the month. So that's a problem. But it turns out you can't do that. I would have loved to have kept up the page and just pause it, but the only way you can do it apparently is pausing it. The next month, pause it again. Next month, pause it again. And you basically just skip the month forever. And then eventually I will end up forgetting. At some point I will slip. In the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there will be a month where I somehow forget. People will be charged, and then, well, I'll feel very bad, and I'll probably be in a lot of trouble with a lot of people who are like, why am I getting this charged on my bank account? I needed that money for Pogs, or whatever it is people are into these days. But long story short, there doesn't seem to be a way of me keeping up the page as much as I would like to. So for that reason, it will be going away after this month. So there will be no more charges for my Patreon. I'll be closing it down, unfortunately. I feel really bad about it because I'd love to leave it stay as like just kind of a monument of what it was, you know, kind of thing. I guess there's no real way of preserving it other than having it on a Wayback Machine or an archive. It just feels bad to just delete it because it's done so much good for me, and it's just a beacon of how nice everyone was to me to support me in what I do. It's something I never would have had unless I originally was in the position that I was in, where I needed it. I had no other way of surviving. I put it so dramatic. It's like, guys, I would have died if not for Patreon. That's the clickbait title I can go with. No, but you get what I mean. It was a necessity at the time, and it grew and it grew and it grew as the channel grew, and it's just one of those things. I just feel like people are being too nice, and I'd rather you kept out of that money yourself. And on top of that, I feel like I'm not doing enough in return. I just feel bad. Like, there was a point where I'd reply to every single Patreon message. Now there's like 100 and something unread, if not more. It might be up to 200, and I cannot catch up. It's like it's all so nice. Everyone's so nice to me, but I just don't have enough time, and I feel bad. I just come on here to rant. I'm sorry. Oh, I'll have a rant about how I'm ranting in a second. It's so warm in here. I'll rant about that next. No, but rants aside, I think I've explained, this is why I didn't do it in text, by the way. I think I've explained it as well as I can, why I'm so like conflicted about Patreon. I do appreciate all the support that you've all given me. I apologize for doing such a ramble. This should have been a 2-minute thing, but I didn't want to script anything. I just wanted to say how I'm feeling and how I came to this decision. But I'll try not to rant anymore and just leave a really concise ending of thank you very much for your support. It's meant so much to me over the years. I cannot stress how much it helped, especially in the early days. I'll stop rambling. Thank you so much again for the support. I appreciate you, and I hope it feels like I'm saying goodbye. I'm not. I'm gonna see you on Twitch and YouTube and everywhere else. the Twitters and whatnot. No, I'll see you elsewhere. I don't know why this feels so serious, because it's not. Like, you know, as a whole, it's small. I'm rambling again. I just told you I wouldn't. I'm sorry. We'll end it there. A sincere thank you from me to you, and I hope you have a good day. And I will see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.